Hello, this is Femi Akujeno, John Maxwell Certified Executive Coach. In today's video, I want to show you one of the reasons why many people have not been able to take advantage of the opportunities that come their way. This thing that I'm sharing with you today is also one of the reasons why many people are not fulfilling their destinies. What I share with you right now is also the reason why many people have been trapped, have been, stagnant in life, and they have not been able to make progress and move forward in life. It is also even a reason why some people are not enjoying their life the way God wants them to enjoy their life. What am I talking about? I'm talking about an excuse that many people give, and that excuse is, I have never done it before, or I have never done that before. Have you ever heard that? Maybe you have said that yourself too. I've never done that before. I've never done it before. And that has now become a reason why you're stagnant, a reason why you have not been able to take advantage of opportunities that come your way. Now, let's break it down. Why is it that some people have never done things before? Let me say this. I am Femi Akujeno. I am Dr. Femi Akujeno. I am a coach, a business coach, media coach, and many other things. Guess what? There are many things I have never done before. It's not because they are bad. It's just that I've never done them before. So let's look at this very carefully. Why is it that many people have not done many things? Well, there are many reasons. Number one, lack of exposure. You see, if you have not been exposed to some things, you will never do it because you never even knew that it existed. You never knew that that's something people do, right? So lack of exposure hinders people from doing many things. For example, let's say you're watching me from a part of the world where you hardly even have a good shower. You hardly even have a good, I'm talking about shower where you can, bathe yourself. You hardly have a good shower. Forget about jacuzzi. You probably have never even seen a jacuzzi before. You are probably wondering, what is a jacuzzi? Guess what? If you've never even hardly had any good shower system in a community that you're watching me from right now, you don't know what a jacuzzi is. So obviously, you've never been inside a jacuzzi. So what I'm trying to say is this. Some of the things we've never done is because of lack of exposure. Somebody, for example, who has traveled the world has been exposed to more things and have done more things than somebody who's always been in one little village in some part of the world. I remember having a seminar at the Sheraton Hotel in Lagos, Nigeria. Several people who came to that hotel for my seminar said that this was their first time ever being in any place like that. They've never been to a very fancy hotel before in their lives. If they've been to an hotel, they've been to some cheap hotel, but they've never been to anything like that. It was like a wow moment. So coming to my seminar wasn't just even my seminar they learned from, but the fact that they were in that environment, it changed something. It's like, wow, you mean there is a place like this? You see, lack of exposure. So some of you, the reason why you've never done some things before is because you've never been exposed to it before, right? Another reason why people have never done what they've never done before is because of lack of education. The more educated you are, and I'm not just talking about book education, but even exploration and all that kind of stuff, the more educated you are, the more likely you have tried some new things. So if you're not as educated, you have probably not tried as much as someone who's more educated, and maybe have even done some study abroad programs. You know what they call study abroad? So in your country, you leave your country and you go and do a semester or a term, during your studies, whether in college, in a university. So that particular semester, you don't study in your country. You go outside of your country. So obviously, if you go to a different country, like, wow, maybe you are taking the subway. If you come and study abroad in New York, you will know what a subway is. You'll be able to brag to your friends and say, hey, I took the subway. I entered into the subway. Obviously, if you've never been to a place that has a subway, you don't know what a subway is. Okay, you're probably wondering, what is a subway? Well, that's the train station. Train station. So if you've never been to a place where they have a train station, you've never been inside a train. Do you see what I'm saying? Lack of exposure, lack of education. Do you know another reason why many people have not done many things? Their culture. Their culture. Do you know that some of the cultures around the world are very limiting type of culture? Some of the cultures limit you in various ways. They say things like, oh, what is that? What is that? They shun many things. They look at many things as a taboo. Taboo. Do you know that there's some parts of the world where women cannot drive? Now, those of you who are watching me now who are women drivers, you're what? How can a woman not be able to drive? Yes, there are some cultures in the world where a woman, many of them will say, I've never driven before. I've never seen a woman drive before. You see, that culture, they look at women driving as a bad thing. Now, some of you in parts of the world that's listening to me, there are things other people do in other parts of the world that you look at and you say, that's a bad thing. That's what they told us. They said, no, that's a taboo. You can't do that, right? Because of culture. Your culture is limiting you. So there are mindsets that are cultural that limits people. You know, I live in America. I live in New York City. And New York City is a melting pot of different countries. I mean, countries from all over the world, they come to New York City. And I know people, for example, who come from Nigeria, where I am from originally, right, who come from Nigeria, and guess what? They're so limited in their thinking. They come to America, they've lived in America for 20 years, and they're so much in the cultural box. They've not done many things. They've not tried many things because they're still having that same mentality that they brought from Nigeria. And it's limiting them in America to be able to prosper because they still have these cultural boxes. There are all kinds of cultural boxes that people are in. Americans have their own. Indians have their own. Spanish have their own. So you have to break free from that cultural limitation and boxes in order for you to be all that you ought to be in life. What about some people? They're not able to do new things because of their religion. Do you know that religion also has a way of limiting you? Now, while religion teaches us some moral and some ethical things, some of the religions or some of the religious beliefs are also limiting. They are not even biblical. Do you know that some of our religious leaders will tell us things and say, don't do this, don't do this? Now, some of them is true. Don't do that because that's truly what the Bible says or whatever your book says, right? But there are some of those things, that's just their own interpretation. The Bible actually doesn't say that. But because of their own cultural limitation, they now want to make their own cultural limitation a religious limitation. And so they dump it on you. And you too, you say, I can't do that. I can't do that. When actually go to the Bible. Where is it that it says you can't do that? Nowhere. So how did your pastor come up with that one? It's their own limitation. It's their own cultural limitation sometimes that they make it as if it's the Bible. Right? So you're looking at many things that many people have never done just because of lack of exposure, lack of education, their cultural limitation, their religious limitation. And you know what? There are things people have never done because they've never had the opportunity to do it. So have you ever traveled to such and such a place? Well, I've never had the opportunity to travel. I would love to, but I've never had the opportunity to travel. There are many things we've never done because we've never had the opportunity to do it. There are some things that maybe you don't do by yourself. It takes you and somebody else doing it. And because you've never had someone else who is into that for you to do it together with, then you've never had the opportunity to do it. Imagine you wanted to play, what do you call it now? Tennis. Yes, you want to play tennis. Like, I think it was last summer, I went to buy some rackets, right? Because I wanted to play tennis. So I showed up at the tennis court. Nobody to play with. I had a tennis ball. I had a tennis court. But no partner to play with, So I just went back home, right? So I'm saying that sometimes there are certain things you have never done because you've never had the opportunity to do it. And then what about our upbringing? Upbringing. Sometimes your upbringing is what has limited you, because your upbringing, they've told you certain things. Oh, don't do this, don't do this. Or they make you look at certain things, certain bad ways, right? Because that's how they raise you up. And so you may find yourself in a box for the rest of your life, unless you realize that, oh my God, what my mom told me, what my dad told me, that's a cultural thing. That is not a real thing. That's not true. So there are lies they will tell you, that's not true, and you remove yourself from that lie, right? But you know, one more I want to share with you. Another reason why many people have never done many things is because they've misinterpreted doing that thing. They've misunderstood doing that thing. For example, do you know that there are some people, they've never gone to spend a weekend in an hotel by themselves? Hotel? What will I be doing in an hotel? Because in their mind, they've been told that going to a hotel is like prostitute people going to a hotel. It's like when people want to go and sleep with another person, that's when they go to an hotel. So they don't know hotel as a place where you can just lock yourself in. You need a break from everybody. You need a break from everything. And you just want a change of environment that you can book a week and just be in an hotel by yourself. They didn't know that. So they've always misinterpreted the word hotel as always meant prostitutes to them, has always meant something bad to them. You see, that's the upbringing they have. That's the kind of misinterpretation. That's the kind of misunderstanding. So they find themselves not doing some things because of all these things that I've talked about. Wow. Do you realize that there are many things in life that you can do that you've never done? For example, have you ever gone bowling before? Bowling. What is that? Well, there's something called bowling. It's fun, right? Have you ever played basketball? Do you know that for me, I never played basketball until I came to America. I love playing basketball. Once in a while when we go, with my church and we go out and all that stuff, I play basketball. You know, some of you might have seen videos of me playing basketball, but I didn't play that when I was growing up in Nigeria. Right? I knew that they had a basketball court, but I never played. But I played here in America. There are many things you've never done. They're not bad. You just never done it. Now, don't use I've never done anything as an excuse. That's really my point here. I've never done it. There are many things you have never done. There is a day you start doing something. Do you realize that? That everything has a beginning. So don't use I've never done it as a reason not to do it. This year, I went to Dallas and I met with some friends, and they told me to meet them at an Indian restaurant. Wow. I ate some things I've never eaten before. Oh, I enjoyed that food. I really enjoyed it. I was like, man, this is good food. But I've never had it before. So what I'm trying to say to you is this. Stop using that excuse, I've never done it before, as a reason not to do stuff. Like, it's senseless. It's senseless to be saying that. I went to London this year for the first time. Do you know I've never been to London before? I went this year. In January, as a matter of fact, I flew first class, to Heathrow. Heathrow, is that how they say it? Right? I flew into London. My first time being in London. Right? And some of you follow me might have seen me posting that picture on my page, right? I was in London for the first time. I've been to other places, but just never been to London. My parents have been to London many times. I just have never been to London, but I went this year. What I'm trying to say is this, that you have never done it is not an excuse. Stop using that to limit your life. I've never done this before. So what? I've never been to Israel before, but I went in 2017. And guess what? I ate some food I've never eaten in my life before. Are you getting the point? Stop saying or using that as an excuse. I've never done it before. So what? There's a day you do everything for the first time. There is always the first time for everything. Now, please don't get me wrong. I am not telling you to go and commit a crime. Please, don't go and commit no crime. I'm not telling you to go and do immoral things. Please, don't do that. I'm not telling you to go and do things that will be detrimental to your destiny and to your life. Don't do that. I'm not talking about that. But to use I've never done it before as an excuse, you are only limiting yourself. Recently I asked some people to speak, right? To speak. And, Of course, the first question, the first response one of them gave to me is, I've never spoken before. Oh my God, I think I'm going to fall down. I will be nervous. Oh my God, I've never stood in front of people before. I've never done public speaking before. Well, that you have never done it is not a reason for you not to do it. Are you getting the drift? Are you getting the point? Stop saying, I've never done it before. There is always a first time for everything. Go for it. It's your first time. And try new things. It's a part of life. Try new things. Have you ever played an instrument before? Well, you can try playing it, right? Have you ever been to the movie theater before? Why not? Go to a movie theater. Go and watch the right things, though. Don't go and watch foolishness in the movies, right? Try it. You've never driven a car before? Well, drive it. Don't say, well, I've never driven before. There is always a first time. Don't you see other people driving? They're driving, right? Okay, so you too, learn to drive. I've never gotten manicure and pedicure before. There's always a first time. I've never gotten a massage before until maybe 3 years ago or so. And I went for a massage. I had my own religious hang-ups about massages for a long time. And then eventually I went and get one. It was not bad at all. And do you know that even that massage, sometimes some people even need it. Like it's even medicinal, so to speak. Like it can help with some flow, like blood flow and tension, remove some tensions and stuff. But sometimes you have this religious hang-ups, you have this cultural hang-ups, and you're not able to do something that can actually help you. Have you ever been to the gym before? Have you ever swum before? I've never swum before. I'm afraid of the water. One time, I went to Disney World in Florida, and it was a water park, and I just slide through this thing. It's supposed to be something you slide into the water. I slid into the water. Oh, my God. I thought I was going to die. So I've never swum before. But guess what? Some of you are watching me like, you never swam before? I swim all the time. Do you see what I'm saying? Imagine now you're saying, hey, let's go swimming. And I'm saying, I've never swum before. And so that's the reason why we never swim. Hello, just go and take some swimming lessons and start to swim. Are you getting the point? Stop saying, I've never done something before. Stop using that as an excuse for you never to try new things. There are many things we've never done. There are some people here in America. They said, okay, well, I've never gone bungee jumping. And so guess what? At 70 years old, at 90 years old, I think it was President Bush or something, the old President Bush, at 90 years old or something, and went and do some bungee jumping, if I'm correct. So something he went to do, something crazy like that. But he's never done it before, so he wants to do it before he dies. Now, notice, it's not a crime. It's not detrimental to anybody, and it's not immoral. So when I'm telling you that you do new things, I'm not saying go and commit a crime. I'm not saying go and do immoral things, and I'm not saying go and do something detrimental to other people. But I want to challenge you. Do new things. Do new things. Don't use I've never done it before as an excuse. We all have never done many things before. There are still many things I've never done before. So I'll still try many things. I'll still do many things. And I want to challenge you too to stop using I've never done it before as an excuse. All right? Now, here's the thing. Because you may be saying, okay, so why are we trying new things for? Do you know that trying new things can actually move you towards your destiny? Do you know that you may stumble upon your calling trying new things? Somebody was asked to teach some children in church. They've never taught children before. So, I've never done it before, but since you say I should do it, let me do it. So they did it, and they found out that, oh my God, I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed teaching those kids so much. Can I teach them again? They taught them again. The next thing you know, they realized that that's their calling in life. They stumbled upon their calling in life by trying new things. Do you know that that's one of the ways you can know your calling? Some of you under the sound of my voice, you say, I don't know what I'm called to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life. One of the ways you know your calling is by trying new things. So if they say, okay, teach, then you teach. If they say, well, sweep, then you sweep. If they say, you try new things. If you're in a church, for example, if you're on a job, they may say, okay, try the computer or try this. You try different departments. And wow, you may find out that, oh my God, this one wow. Do you realize that some of the things you've never done, you are meant to do, but you don't know because you never tried? Now, I'm not telling you to be going trying foolishness now. I'm not trying to tell you to do bad things, crimes, or no, I'm not telling you that. But there are many things that you can do in life that will really, really help you to even get into your destiny. Do you know that if you try new things in your marriage can be better? Some of you under the sound of my voice, you've never taken time to go on a vacation with your husband or with your wife and go on another honeymoon. You say, well, boring. So I challenge you, you're a wife, wear a nice lingerie for your husband. Yes, do that. You say, I've never done that before. Yes, there's always a first time for everything. You've been a bush person all your life. Now, let's get with the program. Go and do something exciting. You know, I have a family member who told me about her doing something for her husband, right? They were having one of the anniversaries. So she was talking to some people on the job, and they said, okay, well, you know, maybe she was saying to that person on the job, like, hey, you know, it's my anniversary, and I'm thinking about something to do for my husband and with my husband and stuff. And that one says, have you ever done this? Have you ever done that? She said, no. Okay. She said, why don't you try that? So you know what she did? She got a nice lingerie, and she had some candles and all that kind of stuff, and just looked nice. And, you know, it was a surprise. And so when the husband came in, like, what? She was telling me this. She said, oh, my God, my husband was just smiling. My husband was just smiling like, wow, wow. And they had a nice night. They were celebrating their marriage anniversary. She's never done it before, but she did it. She realized that, wow, my marriage have been missing some of these exciting moments because I've used what I've never done as an excuse for me not to do it. What about your children? There are things you've never done with your children that you can start doing. Have you ever taken your children to the zoo, to the amusement park? Have you ever taken them to the museum? There are places you could take your children to that you even see that your children are excited, and even in their learning process, there are some things you can, or places you could take them to that can aid their learning. They've been learning some things in school, and there are places like the aquarium, for example, that teaches you, you know, about the sea life and all that stuff, and they can even learn more from that. There are many things you've never done that can improve your life. It can improve your marriage. It can improve your parenting abilities. It can improve your relationships with your children. There are things you've never done with your children. You know, here in America, they will say, take your children to school day. So take your daughter to school, take your son to school. Like, there are things that you could do with those children you've never done before, and it will improve the relationship of your children. There are many things people have never done. What about your career? Things you've never done. Think about things you've never done, things outside of the box in the area of your career that you've never done before. Maybe a particular type of training you've never gotten. Maybe getting that training can improve your career. Maybe it can even lead to promotion for you. Maybe it can lead to a raise, right, in your salary. There are many things people have never done. What about for your business or your ministry? There are things you've never done. Maybe you've never done marketing before. You've always thought, well, I mean, just bring the people in. Oh, so marketing? Wow. Facebook ads? Wow. Okay, TV interviews? I've never done that before. Well, go do it. There are many things many people have never done. Try it. Do it. Do it. What about for your finances? Maybe you've never taken a course on finances before. I just did a seminar on the School of Money. Maybe you've never taken any course like that before. Okay, take it. Maybe you've never had a mentor before. You've never had a coach before. There's so many things that you've never done in life that if you do them, they will improve the quality of your life. But you have been telling yourself, I've never done that before. I've never done that before. And then you've been keeping and limiting your life. Do you know that there's some things you can do that can even add to the peace of mind of your life, your own peace of mind? There are some things that can help improve your health. Maybe you've never signed up for a gym membership before. Well, there's always a first time. You've never gone running before. There's always a first time. You've never exercised before. There's always a first time. I mean, there are so many things that we have never done before. But just because we've never done it does not mean you cannot do it. Maybe they ask you to pray. Okay, come and lead a prayer in the church. Hello. I know you've never done it in your life, but this can be your first time doing it. So, the next time an opportunity comes your way, as long as it's not an opportunity to commit a crime, as long as it's not something immoral or detrimental to you, don't say, I've never done it before. Or, well, let me rephrase that. Don't use, I've never done it before, as an excuse not to try it. It's okay to say, hey, it's going to be my first time, but let's give it a shot. It's going to be my first time, but let's give it a shot. It's going to be my first time, but hey, I'll try something new. And do you know that some of the things you've never done, you will end up liking them? You know, some people, they've never eaten food outside of their culture. They've never eaten food from different countries. I went to Israel. Oh my God, I ate so much in Israel. I even posted all kinds of pictures. I took pictures of food. Morning, afternoon, night. Food. So much food. I ate so much food. All kinds of food in Israel. Food I've never eaten in my life. I think that's one period of my life I ate more than any other period of my life. I mean, I eat. And because there was no distraction, I just focused on eating that food. I mean, I finished food. Like my stomach will be big, like I'm pregnant. Right? And I ate all kinds of food I've never tried before. There's many things we've never tried before. There are many things I've never tried before, and I will try them. There are some things I've tried more than other people because I'm more exposed, and I don't have that in-the-box thinking. So it's allowed me to try more than the average person. But I want to challenge you. Stop letting what you've never done before, what you've never tried before, don't stop letting that to be an excuse for you not fulfilling your destiny. Stop letting that to be an excuse for you not taking advantage of an opportunity. Maybe an opportunity to take you to a bigger city. Maybe an opportunity to go and work in a bigger city. Maybe an opportunity to go and work outside of your country. Maybe an opportunity to do something different. Don't resist it just because I've never done that before. There's always a first time for everything. Just make sure whatever it is that's being presented to you, that it's not something bad. It's not something immoral. It's not something that's going to destroy your life. And it's not something that is a crime. Also, make sure to check out who's asking you. That it's not the wrong people asking you to come and do something, especially with them, especially when it's with them, that it's not the wrong person that's asking you to come and do something with them that is wrong, right? So once you check that, stop saying, I've never done it before. Try something new. There's so much to do in this world. Become more exposed. Become more educated. Get out of your cultural limitation. Get out of your religious limitation that has nothing to do with the Bible. Take use of opportunities. Sometimes, even though you were brought up one way, retrain yourself to say, you know what, they didn't know better. They told us based on their own limitation. Now that I'm grown and I know better, and I know that some of the things I was told growing up is actually not true. So free yourself from those upbringings that have limited your life and begin to fly, begin to move into all the great destiny that God has for you. I pray that after this, you no longer say, I've never done that before, as a reason to stop yourself from being who God has called you to be. I pray that from today, you begin to do greater things, bigger things, new things, and fulfill your destiny. All right? That's my prayer for you. This is Dr. Femi Akojeno, John Maxwell Certified Executive Coach. You can follow me by going to my YouTube channel. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can like this Facebook page and make sure to comment, make sure to share this, and make sure to like this video. If it has really helped you, I would like to know in which way it has helped you and in which way it has transformed your thinking and your mindset. I want to thank you for watching this video. Until next time, start trying new things that you've never done before. Thank you for watching.